You close.
You close your. Oh.
We're gonna sing you whatever you just said.
Oh.
We just saying do that.
Oh, I thought he was saying that closure, the end part. Is it recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What am I supposed to say? Are you ready? Whoever was on here last week, I told you he was going to do a small recap. We are going to do a recap. Okay? We got to.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Roland.
I'm Coretta.
We're the Siglers. And of course, this is the Sigler series. We began having a weekly dialogue on Saturdays talking about relatable living. And we started off on Periscope, had some technical challenges over the last few weeks. I believe some upgrades not syncing well, so now we're here on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And so what we were talking about was dating, and we said that dating is data gathering. I call it like an information fact check. So you're meeting someone, you're trying to determine if there's a connection, if there's something sparks, not just emotional, but there's a commonality, and you go through the process of being safe with boundaries. Not exposing yourself to an area of weakness, being alone with a person, different things such as like that, not bringing them into your personal space, home and job and all of that up front too soon.
Wait a minute, I have a question. I want to have a statement, just real quick. Someone actually, the reason why, because I want to make sure, because remember I tell you all to send us questions and all that, so we want to address all of that. I mean, there's no point of you sending them in and we're not going to address them, right?
I was doing the recap.
Okay, you are. Okay, I'll tell you what. But this question or this statement was in reference for dating, so I want to be able to, so it's related. Okay. Someone reached out to us and asked, what if this person is really nice, is really great, wonderful, some personality or whatever, but yet still they didn't find themselves attracted to him. Like they weren't attracted to him. So my thing is, if there is no initial attraction, so why would you even go forward?
Duh.
I mean, and most people thinking, well, am I being superficial just because it's not, I'm not physically attracted to them. Everything else was lining up correctly, but there's not a physical attraction. Let me tell you what will happen. If there's not even an iota of a physical attraction, all those other things could be nice, but your eyes will still wander. There's nothing, no relationship is going to satisfy you 100%. But all I'm telling you is that there's got to be some physical attraction there. Because again, when you go to bed at night, you got to wake up with that person. I'm just saying, you got to wake. All right now, you got to wake up. It's something else that's got to be there. No physical attraction. Zero? None? Come on now. Okay, that's the first thing before they've opened their mouths, before you know anything about them, their past, their current status, anything. There is some type of attraction. That's what catches your eye. So let me just say this. No, it's not superficial, but there has got to be something to be able to captivate you, to have an interest even having a conversation with them. That's me. Again, that's me.
I want to interject something here. I want to say hello to Larry and Lori here. We love you like you don't even know. Reach out to me sometime. I don't have your number handy. And also, Mike, we see you there, Mike Russ.
Hey, Michael.
It was something that we were talking about last week that brought that to mind for me when you were asking about an analogy a few weeks ago, perhaps, about judgment versus selection is kind of what I broke that analogy down.
Well, you said there was no barriers. You mentioned that you were saying something about as far as no barriers, but we were talking about the examples. I hate that you all were able to, whoever's new on here didn't hear the recording last week, but we were also talking about some things that I was dealing with regarding about interracial dating, and I'm not saying that it was something negative. It was saying my concerns that I had in reference to our sons, and wanted to make sure that again they were being well treated on that other end as well too. Segue, my husband, Sweetie, actually stated where there is no boundary, or there's not a defining point where your heart or love will go.
Right. Love has no boundary. And someone was asking for clarity. I wasn't going that direction, but I'll say this. Love doesn't know color. Love is not color. Love is colorless. Love is spirit.
Right.
So wherever your heart goes, you can love someone that doesn't look like you, that doesn't come from your racial group, your national origin, any of that. I know we live in a different and a sensitive society, but we are all part of the human race.
Right.
Okay? what I was saying though is that in that piece there, when a person says there's no attraction, physical attraction, what I was wanting to say about that, based on that judgment thing, is then that's an indicator that that's not the person for you.
Right.
If you're not, I always bring everything to food. I love Italian food. And I can go to a restaurant that someone else has recommended to us, and the food could be excellent.
Right.
But if I don't particularly enjoy it, or if I'm not interested in it, then that's not the restaurant for me.
No, or how about this? Or how it's plated. You know, those that cook, chefs, if there's any chefs that's coming online or anything like that, the presentation is key. So that's why I always say, put your best foot forward. If you are really trying to date, if you're really... Now, I didn't say put all your boobs out there. You know, I'm asking that, but I'm telling you, let me leave. I have not put my boobs out. I'm like, look now, y'all, I don't have a whole lot. Now look, I'm just saying. Look, is this bothering y'all? Okay. Anyway, let's get back on topic.
There, it is now.
Okay. Anyway, we're gonna get back on topic. We're getting back on topic. What I'm stating is, if you are trying to get into the dating scene, I'm gonna need you to, at least is my word, and well, the word now is zhuzh it up, is what I say. I need you to zhuzh it up. I need you to put some lotion on, some Carmex, lip gloss, get a comb, a brush.
This one.
Anything. I'm gonna need you to fix that up just a tad bit. So there is something that you have to do. I know some people were like, well, I don't want to wear, makeup or whatever. I didn't tell everybody doesn't have to wear makeup. I'm talking about the ladies. I'm not talking about the men right now. You don't have to wear makeup. Me, she, her, me, I like it. It's fun for me. My sister is actually on here. She actually taught me how to put on makeup early on. I know my mom probably was like, oh my goodness, you starting her too young. But I was interested. I loved it, and I enjoyed it. And I made sure I knew how to apply it properly. Okay. I didn't want to look like a clown or nothing. But again, do some things to be able to, enhance yourself.
On task.
Okay, that was dating, but that is dating. Okay. Summary.
You're going. So you're gathering data, you're gathering information about someone and sharing some information, limited information about yourself. And what you're looking for is a common connection. And then through spending time and getting to know, and that I heard and saw what Pat put on that inward voice will say the leading of God's Spirit. Something inside of you lets you know there's something here and you want to develop it further. That's the dating phase. Now, courtship, can we move to courtship?
We can move to courtship.
Okay, courtship is where you've kind of spent some time, you've done safe meetings, and you've gone to church, you've gone to the PTA meetings and the social chamber of commerce meeting, you've gone to the movies.
At work.
You've been at work, you've had your friends meet them in group settings when family members were around. You've just seen a little different aspect of them in many settings.
Yes.
And you want to move forward. Courtship is, I'm looking at, can I spend my life with this person?
Do I want to spend my life with this person?
Something is there. Something is different. I don't want to do life's journey without this person. Okay, that's more courtship. And so after you spent that time, and now it's become more one-on-one.
Right. But let me just even say with that courtship, it's not saying the person is perfect. Okay. They're not perfect. You're not looking for perfection.
You doing a recap, right? Because
that's a recap. Yes.
I'm perfect.
Okay, but what I'm just saying is that the person is not perfect. So they're going to come with things, and you're not perfect. So you're going to have to. But you're perfect for me. Okay, but anyway, you just got to be able to understand that there are things that you're going to like, he's not going to like, all of that. But again, you are willing to be able to take on all of those imperfections and learning how to be able to work with them, all of that. And so that's not judgment. What it is that there are some strengths that you have that you can be able to help relationship and vice versa. So you got to be able to be okay with that process. And
in that, there's a place of healing and wholeness and maturity. Relationships on this level, to me, is for grown people, grown folks. I'm not saying you can't be young, but you have to be mature. And sometimes the games are played and being played out with people and through their lives and actions because they're not settled. They're not mature. They're not ready.
Right. Not
settled in giving up, but I'm ready for something different. I'm ready to build. And if you're not there, that's fine. And some people may go their entire lives. We've always stated we're not against singleness and singlehood. Some people are anointed and called and purposed to be single.
That's not me.
To serve their lives unto the Lord and give themselves wholly unto consecration to the Lord. And He's their husbandman and they're the bride, and they can just do it. And that's fine. And that's no sarcasm the way I said it.
No.
And that's okay. Be satisfied, be whole, be complete if that's you.
But that wasn't me. I'm just saying that's not me.
And if it's not you, don't condemn someone who has that call, who has that grace.
And I don't.
Embrace the lane that you're in and run it. So now we've gone through courtship. There's a solid commitment. We're looking at the deeper things now. The things that you don't share in the dating phase, you're opening it up in courtship. Now, sometimes it will lead to that deeper, lifelong commitment of marriage.
Okay, right. But let me also kind of segue on this. Because remember he mentioned something about marriages for grown folks. Well, how about I married when I was 21? It's funny how the young kids, we do think that we're grown. We're like, hey, we grown. But so is Shonda. My oldest sister, Sissy, is on here. Lenora, hello. How are you, honey? So what I'm telling you is that just because you reach a certain age doesn't mean maturity. It's not about age. I just want to just be able to say that, because everyone thinks that once you reach a certain age, you know everything. You do. That's not the case. There's a lot of growing, a lot of maturing. Even for myself, marrying at the age of 21, a lot of growth. Still needed to be able to understand that. Not even just saying the growth of it, is that I was still, to a point, still consistently evolving, which I'm still evolving now. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But again, just telling you about the whole maturity.
So courtship, again, the fruit of it is a deeper level of commitment, and it may lead to the relationship dissolving. Because as you're getting the deeper information, you find that the data you were gathering wasn't complete, or it was skewed, or you got a misrepresentation either from that person, or you processed the information differently. You didn't hear what they were telling you. They were telling you all along how they were. They were showing you all along how they were.
You're like, no, that's not you.
I can change
Sure, that's
you.
not you. Oh, I don't believe
My
that.
love will
Believe
change
them.
you. You'll be something different. No.
You can't change. Marriage doesn't change a person.
So in courtship, that comes up, because now the deeper level of showing yourself and showing the way you think and where you come from, that's what that should bring about. And so at that point, you make the decision, okay, we can do this. We're going to work on this area. These are my strengths. These are yours. Here's the plan. We're going to build according to plan. This is the house we want, blah, 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 blah. We're doing that. So courtship is going to lead to the covenant of marriage. And we stressed that if you're walking down the path towards marriage, we highly, 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 highly encourage premarital counseling, Bible-based, biblically based premarital counseling, so you can get an understanding.
Well, the reason why we say that is because, again, remember we stated we're not going to say Christian values. What we're stating is standards, biblical standards. That's what we're doing. That's what we're enforcing. That's what we're encouraging. Now, does that mean that your process is going to be perfect? No. No, it is not going to be perfect. You're going to have some bumps along the road. You're going to have all of that, even with the Bible in hand. Because again, you have choices that you can be able to make. You have those choices. God gives that. That's free will. Okay? Now, the only reason why I pause for just that moment, because how is it that you can do something that is God ordained, God created, but you're going to leave God out of it? Which is why we state biblical principles. Because that covenant was established by God.
Right.
But you're going to do the covenant or do the marriage, as they say, the marriage thing, but leave him out of it. It will never work like that. It never will.
And driving to that point, and this is a passion point for me, by definition, marriage is instituted by God. The things that we have in society, the civil ceremonies and the civil processes, that doesn't determine or define marriage.
No.
Marriage is defined by the one who instituted it. So by virtue of that, it is entering into covenant, a man and a woman, leaving their father and mother and cleaving to one another and becoming one in Christ.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're absolutely right.
The covenant is established in him and with him. Yeah. We can have a business and be in a partnership. We can have an agreement. All those things, that's not marriage, because you have a civil ceremony or civil practice. What makes marriage, by definition, is entering into covenant with God.
That is true.
Okay.
That's true. Okay, so now we have the basis on what marriage is, what covenant is, right? Any questions? Hello, Terrelyn. Okay, so no questions regarding about that. Okay, now we're gonna move forward. How about now that you met your little kitty pie, your little cutie pie, your boo boo kitty. Right, boo boo kitty, right? Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Boo boo kitty, you done met them, all that. So now you have an engagement. Now you're at the point where you want to say, okay, we're going to walk down the aisle. All right, you're right, Pat. You want to keep God first. Now you want to walk down the aisle. We spend a lot of time and attention as far as on the wedding day, right?
The frills.
The frills, the flowers, how many bridesmaids, how many groomsmen, the ring bearer, not ring bearer. We're going to have a crier, or we're not going to have one. I mean, it can go on and on and on and on and on. Right, boo boo kitty. Thank you, Shonda. So you're going to have all of that. And it's amazing how most people or couples, engaged couples, they are actually in that process for a full year. We're just going to go through that. Hi, Maurice. You go through a full year of preparing for this wonderful, beautiful ceremony, and you're bringing all of the family members together, all of that, which is good. That's perfect. Loving it. But we spend so much time on that and not realizing that you have your wedding day, your ceremony is one day. But your marriage is forever.
Should be for a lifetime.
Oh my goodness. And here we go for the forever part. So we're going to do this. Okay, hold on. Can you push that for me, please? Okay. All right. So now we're talking about the very next day. Okay, so it's great. You got the honeymoon. You're going to have your honeymoon. So let's just say pretend that you got like a 7-day honeymoon retreat. Okay, then you come back. Now you come back to reality. Reality of the fact that when you come back, somebody got to go to work, right?
Bills have to be paid. All those bills that weren't paid for that ceremony now begin to hit hard.
Okay.
Because some of it was done on credit.
Okay. So there you go. Okay. So there we go. So now we come back to the house. So you have dirty clothes, people hungry. So who gonna cook? Who gonna wash the dishes, boo? Who's doing all of that? So I'm going to start off with our process and what happened as far as with us. Okay, let me just first say we didn't have like a marriage ceremony when we first got married, right?
We didn't have the traditional bridesmaids, groomsmen, all the frilly stuff. We had a marriage ceremony at a church by a pastor on Christmas Day, December 25th, 1988.
That is correct. And then what we ended up for us, and then I'm just kind of just giving you some update or whatever, what exactly happened with us. Okay, so what happened for us was that we ended up getting married early. We were going to do the whole 1 year planning and all of that stuff for our marriage and everything. And Sweetie actually talked to my mother, asked for my hand in marriage, that whole process, that whole thing. Again, that's that Southern traditional thing. I'm going to do a little backward segue. For those, if there's any men on here, if you're looking at to be able to ask for a hand in marriage and all of that, can I just ask that still do protocol, Southern protocol, by going to the family, whoever that patriarch is in that family, go to them, who is ever senior in that family, to be able to ask for their hand in marriage. Okay.
I gotta say this. Okay. I have to say this.
Okay, what?
I'm 53 and I'm at a point where I have some things to say.
You got some things to say?
This foolishness that I've seen on social media, where the women are getting on their knees proposing to the men, I think it's the most idiotic thing.
Please don't.
You can do. Now I'm not talking about any individual person. I'm talking about the act.
Please don't do that.
The very act is that a man, according to scripture now, this is not sexist, it's not any of that, but the scripture says, we're talking about doing things in order. He that findeth a wife.
Yeah.
He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So it's showing order. That's all. God is a God of order.
Just saying.
No one is more important or lesser important. We just have different roles. So the man is to find the wife, not a woman. That was a word for somebody. Find a wife. She's a wife before you marry her.
Right.
That didn't mean you married somebody else's wife and none of that. It means that the capacity to be helpmeet fit for you was in her before you saw her. and then you found her and you entered into covenant with God and her, and she's your wife.
Right.
There's order, not her coming to you and I want to ask you to marry me. That's out of order.
Husband.
It's out of order. I'm telling you.
Okay, don't do that.
It's out of order.
Don't do that.
It's out of order.
You're starting wrong already.
Out
okay?
of order. And it's good. If you follow the lives of those individuals, and I'm not prophesying negativity or anything over their lives, but you follow their lives. If you can get into the inner sanctum of their lives, you're going to find so much chaos, so much disorder, so much disarray, because they're not doing it properly.
That is right.
And if he won't ask for your hand, move.
Did you hear that?
If he won't ask for your hand in marriage, and there's not clear communication on challenges, because he's trying to get his man package together, he's trying to get his credit score up, trying to get some savings and all these things. If you're having that part of the courtship dialogue, then have some patience. But if he's stringing you along and he's getting milk every day, why is he going to buy a cow? And I'm not calling you a cow. But why pay for something? Why commit to something that you're getting free? Don't cheapen yourself.
Just saying.
And I think it's a cheap insult. God didn't bless us with biological daughters. We have spiritual daughters on here. Yeah. No daughters of ours are going to get on their knees and ask a guy to marry them.
Right. That's not going to happen.
See, the thing about it that convicts, and it's a passion point for me if you can't see this, the bride, the woman, is indicative of the bride of Christ. We don't ask Jesus to marry us. We don't ask him into our hearts. He pursued us. He paid the price with his blood. We weren't even alive yet. He's showing the order of it. Y'all, I'm passionate about this. So our granddaughters, our caramel drop, our chocolate drop, they're not getting up, taking one knee to ask no joker, no hard-legged joker to marry them. If they're worthy of our granddaughters' hands and our spiritual daughters' hands, they must be in order and meet the parents, the biological parents, us, the spiritual parents, the grandparents first, and get a blessing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's good.
I'm intense about that.
That's good. That is really good. And that was done. Praise Jesus. That was done. And so Sweetie did do that for us. So we did that. So again, what we ended up doing, because we were both active duty military, in order for us to be able to
go
be
Air
stationed,
Force.
Air Force, that's the only branch. I know Army gonna come up and come up and fighting. I'm just saying, Air Force is the only one. But anyway, and Navy, you're good. But Air Force is number one. But anyway, what occurred is that we ended up moving forward our ceremony because of the fact we wanted to be able to move together, be stationed together, and not be in two separate places, being in the military. So we had to go through that process. So that was the reason for moving it up. Now, again, a couple of recordings ago, I told people, I said, if you know math, if you can add 1 + 1, all of that, you can kind of figure it out, that I had a child before marriage. Okay, so if I'm just saying. So I did, again,
with
their
me,
choices.
with me.
Their choices.
You are the father. I'd be the baby daddy. He was
the baby daddy.
Okay.
But what I'm telling you is that I did not get married because of the fact of a child. That's what I'm not going to do. But as you can probably tell, that I'm a little independent. I have that process in me, and that I was that one, like, I don't need
INDEPEN. Oh, okay, come back.
Okay, I'm just saying, I don't need no man. I can take care of myself and my child. I was in the military. That was the stance that I had. I'm just telling you, that was my truth. And so in saying that, I wanted to make sure that when he was going to marry me or ask for my hand in marriage, that it was before me, not for children, because children will not make your marriage. Let me help somebody. Anybody, not the children. Don't marry for the children. I'm trying to
restate that. You don't get married simply because you have a child.
Don't do it.
See, this is the order. God, the man, he finds the wife. The Jewish tradition, they spent a whole year because they were betrothed before they even met each other. Then they'd have the children after that. You see? The children don't come before the covenant.
It's just that. Okay, I know it's so much to cover. I promise you, we were not going to keep your Saturday very long. Okay, we're going to move from that part. Okay, just don't marry for children. Don't do that.
Okay.
Make sure, go back to some standards. The guy asks for the hand in marriage. Some of the basics. Go back to the basics and pray. Hey, seriously. And if you don't know how to pray, then I need you to go to the elders of church. I need you to find somebody that has a relationship with God. I need them to be praying, interceding for you on your behalf. Okay? If you don't know how to do that, I'm just saying. That's just,
If you don't know how to pray, just ask God. That's all. You don't have to be formal.
No.
Father, reveal yourself to me. God, I don't even know anything about you. I don't know this Bible. Stuff I see I don't like. I don't agree with. That's all praying. It's just talking.
Praying is
like
talking.
To your best
it's
friend.
just talking. Just talk to him. Now, the one thing I mentioned about getting married, you have this wonderful ceremony, and then right after that, you have to come home. You got to come home. You got to come home to, hey, dishes going to get dirty. Hey, clothes are dirty. Hey, who's going to go to work? Those are some standard things that will have to occur. So one of the things that for me, I would say that when we married, I always looked at as far as for things what my mother did. And she was getting up early in the morning. She was cooking breakfast. She was doing laundry. She was doing sweeping. She was in the garden. She was doing. When I tell you, she was doing everything.
Hold up. So what happened? What had happened then? What happened?
Okay, I'm gonna say I call myself. Did I tell you I was working 12-hour shifts? A full-time job in the military, be real clear, with a child. Did you remember that? We got a child. And a child.
Hold up. It seemed like mother had 17 jobs. She was Jamaican, so she did all of that and some.
But you know what?
What happened?
Let me tell you what happened. No. Let me explain. Okay, listen. You know what? She had okay, Shonda, I need you to be on my side. I'm gonna need you to be on my side. Okay, Shonda?
That's my daughter. That's my daughter.
Okay, so let me explain. See, my mom, she didn't have to work outside the home. Be real clear. Let me help somebody.
She feeling her help, y'all. She feeling I can't get no help in here. She just got her help. Mm-hmm.
My mother didn't have to work outside the home. Let's be clear. But I was trying to, you tend to imitate what you've seen processed or placed before you. That was my example. Which was wonderful. But you know what? That wasn't me. I couldn't do all of that. I'm just saying for me, that was great. My mother was fabulous at it, phenomenal at it. But also when I was younger, I also had.
Hey, Bishop.
I'm Bishop.
He said, explain it.
Okay, I'm explaining. So what had happened was my mother also, I had older siblings. Mm-hmm. So when she couldn't do certain things, how about them older siblings? My brother Kenny, my sister.
Wait, hold on. That's when they were combing your hair.
You know what? That ain't right. That is just not right.
I wish I had a picture.
You know what? My siblings weren't right.
Pat and Lenore, y'all had to see how they were combing her hair. They had her looking like a unicorn that had been in a nuclear radioactive plant.
You know what?
A unicorn's supposed to be here, but it would be one here.
Okay, but that was my mama's help. Do you hear me? That was her help. She had help. Even no matter how crazy they had me looking. Okay, but that was my mom's help. What I'm trying to say is that certain things that she was doing, I was trying to take on in addition to the times of the changes of the time. I was working a full-time job as well too, and trying to do all of that, and trying to literally, I was doing breakfast. I even tried to do some of those southern dishes like the liver and I was trying to do all of that.
I gotta tell. We were married for a number of years. I love my wife, right? And so she would make this dish with liver.
It was good, but I didn't know he didn't like liver like that.
It would have so much stuff in it. And
it was just basic. Vegetables, onions. It's just basic.
And she'd pile it up so high. But I'm trying to be the loving husband and encourage her, so I eat every bit of it. Sometimes it take me hours to clean that plate, and I cleaned it, and I said, "Sweetie, that was so good," because I wanted to encourage her in the kitchen and not discourage her and take the intimidation off. She made it all the time, and I love living in
that was not the only thing I was cooking. It was not. Let me, you know what? I'm going to help somebody. The reason why we're at this point is because I'm trying to say, I was trying to do exactly and do everything like my mother was doing it. But let me explain. I was was doing crepes in the morning with fruit and all that. Don't play. I was doing the doggone thing. I really was.
You feeling your help? You feeling your help?
Yes, I was.
Let me interject. This is the one area, and I said this many times. I disagree with the statement and the adage that when I married her, I didn't marry Pat. I didn't marry Lenora. I didn't marry James. I didn't marry Kenny. I didn't marry her mom. I didn't marry Mama Cora or anyone else. Aunt Nora, and I love them. I love all of them. I didn't marry them. My covenant is not with them. My covenant is with her.
Right.
However, when she just talked about the influences of her mom's example and the things she did before her, and even her sisters and everybody else in the family that she looked up to because she's the youngest, that influence came with her.
Yes.
But even that influence wasn't fully who she is. It's the sum total of experiences, knowledge and training that makes her who she is.
Right.
But she's her own person, and she's evolved and is evolving all the more. That's who my covenant is with. And so when I do premarital counseling, we're talking about roles, ROLES. That's what this is about. And so I ensure that we are clear on what we define those roles and responsibility, and who's on first, who's on second, who's going to do what. What your base is coming from is what you've seen.
Right. And those are the things. The reason why I really apologize this is coming, but I promise you, the reason we're giving you our real examples, because this is, people want to know, how do you really live? How did you really go through those processes? You want to tell that and share it. But you can't share that in 5 minutes. You can't share all of that because there are some details. There are some points that I really want you to capture and get. I want you to understand those influences that I've had as far as in my life. I brought them with me to my marriage. So of course that ceremony occurred the very next day. I had to try to find my own. I had to be able to know how to be able to really ride that bike and really get a momentum for my own marriage. The things that were working for my own home. Do you understand? Because it necessarily, just because of what you've seen, that's where you're going to get some basics. You're going to get some tools. But again, you have to remember, your mama's home, your grandmama's home, your sister's home, your brother's home is not your home. It's not. But you do have some standards and some foundational keys that will transcend across, but you've got to make it your own. You have to do that. Now, the other thing that I want to make sure I mention, I'm sorry, I cut him off, but I know I don't want to keep you on here all day. But the one thing about it, in reference for the transition, was that for us, it was like, it was stressing me out. That's what I wanted to be able to let you know. Those things, me trying to mimic or do what my mother was doing, it was a stress for me because of the fact that I myself was working, whereas my mother wasn't working outside the home. And the type of work that I was doing, so I had to be able to understand and make sure that was a difference as well too.
I was just going to say, when you were saying that was a really, 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 really good point. That was a really, really good point. And I believe a lot of people will get some help in hearing that, because when we go into the courtship, these are the types of discussions and the deeper considerations that should take place. Because as we said earlier on, you can be with someone 5 years and not even know that real person, because you're dealing with their representative, and they may not even know themselves well enough. That's where the maturity comes in.
It is. It's a lot as far as in that process. And so out of it, I know that we're not going to keep you on here long, and I hate that this feel like it's going to be series 5, series 6, series 7, series 8, but we have got to. It is our point. We must cover some important details regarding about marriage. We really have to do that. And because there were some struggles that I have. There's struggles that I'm currently having. There are things that we want to be able to address. We want to help someone else out with that. We're not trying to be secretive with the process. There are some things that we're going to share here as far as with the world to know, but there are some things that I'm going to be able to have to navigate and deal with on a more personal, more private level. But what I can share, I will share, because I don't want you to feel like you have to reinvent a wheel, go through things that you don't have to. Now, in the beginning, the whole point is that you love your man, you love your wife, you love them. You absolutely do. You love everything about them. You love the cologne, you love the haircut, you love the style, you love all of that. But let me help you. That cologne, that style, and all that stuff ain't gonna pay your bills. Them things not gonna help you when you become sick. those things that are going to help you when you have issues with your children, those things, you got to put that thing to the side and really make the main thing the main thing. You got to have some substance to your marriage. You got to make sure that you have something that's going to take you through those storms, those ups and downs in your life. And so we're going to talk about it, and we're going to address some of the things and some of the processes that we went through, some of the heartaches that we went through, all of that, and some of the things that we're still trying to navigate through. Because just because we're married 27 years, that doesn't mean, and we're going on our 28th year, is that does not mean that we do not still deal with or still working through struggles, processes, the changes that we're going through, all of that. It's really, really important. Okay, so I tell you what, we are going to continue this because I wanted this to be very short. We're going to continue this next week.
Well, let's stop calling it like part 5. Let's not do that. Let's just continue talking about it and call it something else.
Okay, we're going to.
Because I don't like that part 5 thing, and then it'll be part 6. No, let's just continue.
We're just going to have this conversation. We're going to have a conversation,
and we may put a topic there. So if you have something specific to your relationship and you want us to incorporate it in our discussion, send us an email at thesiglerseries@gmail.com. TheSiglerSeries@gmail.com, and we'll incorporate it as much as we're able to in what we're talking about, and we'll not even put your names on there or anything. We've done that before, but we want this to be beneficial. If you're going to give us your time on Saturday, we want to talk about things that can help you.
It better be effective. Do you hear me?
We want to help somebody.
I don't like to waste nobody's time.
Can we help somebody?
Help them, please. Jesus, help them. Because that's what we're here to do. To help you. As me and my girlfriend says, help me help you.
Help you. Well, there's a lot of people that joined on, and we didn't get a chance to shout out to you. Bishop, we're so glad you're on here. Many others. We saw you, Teresa. We're going to do our level best to celebrate with you and Damari's.
We plan to be there.
Kiss you, hug and kiss him. We're so excited about that. And hopefully and prayerfully, they're in premarital counseling, okay?
They better be.
They better be in counseling. If not, when we get there, I'm putting them in counseling before the wedding. So understand that. We're advocates of that. We're on this journey. As Sweetie said, we'll be 28 December 25th. That doesn't mean anything. You can be with someone a lifetime if you're not committed to them and you're not putting the work in. It'll work and it'll be fruitful if you put the work in.
All right.
So we love you. Have a great Saturday afternoon.
Yes. Don't forget, have some of your friends. Tell them, family, friends, co-workers, all that. Tell them to join. I'm glad. We are going to have all of our rebroadcasts, all of our recordings on our YouTube channel, which is the Sigler Series. So head over there. Be a subscriber so that anytime we upload anything, that you'll be able to be the first partaker to be able to listen to it, okay? We love you. Mwah.